Uh, Greetings, everybody. This is Passive House Southwest, USA. And today we have a fun display from the conference room of TAMARACK Technologies. I first saw TAMARACK way back in 2011 at the National Passive House Convention and was impressed with how tight and all their accent on tightness of seals. So with that, go ahead, you guys. And by the way, everybody, if you do full screen, it'll make their picture bigger.
Okay, we're all set. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. We're, as you mentioned, we're in our office here, so we're wearing masks and social distancing. So as any one of us is speaking, we'll be in the front of the room, and everybody else is a little bit apart, so that we're trying to keep the protocols sound. It looks like everybody's in a nice, comfortable home office. Good for you. That's awesome. So my name is John O'Connell. I'm the CEO of TAMARACK Technologies. With me here today is Scott Peckham, who made the connection with this group. He's our sales and marketing manager. Nelson Warner is also here with us today. He's our vice president of product development and engineering. And Ryan Barth is one of our associates that does customer service and technical support. So once I give the introduction, each of those individuals will be taking over and demonstrating some of the products that we produce. Just to give you a quick history, TAMARACK has been around for 25 years. We've been part of the fabric of the sustainable building community throughout our existence. And we're a member of the Building Performance Institute, formerly Affordable Comfort, for those of you who might have some years on you. We support ResNet. We support and work with the low-income weatherization, state and federal programs and other initiatives. And pretty much any organization that brings together the building science community and the sustainable building community together to talk about trends and processes and whatnot. We've been part of that for a long time. Under normal circumstances, TAMARACK would be supporting, attending, and or exhibiting in as many as 20 or 25 conferences and trade shows per year. But given the circumstances that we're all living with these days, we Zoom. So here we are. So while we do this presentation, I'm not sure how the logistics would work. I think you're able to raise your hand, but to make this a bit of a conversation, if we're presenting something and somebody has a question, I think you're able to tag and we'll see a hand raised and we can stop and have a question and answer for that piece. So what's going to happen is that Scott is going to come up first and he's going to demonstrate some pressure balancing products that we have. We have a couple of unique products that will help HVAC contractors and builders balance the air systems in their homes and businesses. Nelson is going to then take a turn and he's going to demonstrate our whole house fans and also a unique backdraft damper that we designed some 8 or 10 years ago that's very different than anything that you've ever seen and remarkably efficient and very effective. And then Ryan is going to demonstrate a couple of the Backdraft door products that we have. Just before the pandemic hit, TAMARACK went through the process of buying a company by the name of Backdraft Door, and they have a set of unique products that fit perfectly with the product line that we have. And we purchased them, and now they're under the TAMARACK banner, and you can purchase Backdraft Door products. So Ryan is going to demonstrate just a couple of those products. We have an amazingly efficient and unique attic hatchway that's easy to install, and we have a fireplace plug. So what you're going to see today is just a smattering of the products that we have, and then in follow-up, we'll get everybody on the call information and see what we can get to you, and if you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them. Okay. So with that, I'll pass it over to Scott, and thank you. We appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, John, and thanks you guys for this opportunity to present in front of you today some of our really unique products to help you, the contractors, et cetera, make their homes much more energy efficient. So I'm going to focus on air balancing within the home. And this is called our door return air pathway, or the perfect balance. which is a patented product that was introduced by TAMARACK Technologies in 2011. The advantage to this product is it's made in the USA, it's durable ABS plastic, which also can be paintable. It has a lifetime guarantee. It's BPI listed, and for your contractors, very, very easy to install. This is a real economic solution to any air balancing within the home. The Perfect Balance fits most 1 3/8 thick doors that are at least 30 inches wide. It includes a template in each box, so it's pretty foolproof. All you do is trace this on the bottom of the door, so you get a nice perfect cut. And the actual height of this is 4 3/4 inches by 25 inches. How does this product help? If the supply vent in the room is pushing air in and your door is wide open, you probably have no differential between the two rooms. However, once that door is shut and there's no way for that air to escape, the installation of this will give you, so your differential, if you're measuring with a manometer, could be substantial once that door is shut. By installing this, it'll bring that differential down to somewhere to 1.52, but certainly less than the Energy Star recommended 3 differential. When the Perfect Balance is creating that relief, you'll see that pressure drop right away. There actually is a video link on our website that Allison Bale did, where you can see the effect, where he actually is using a DG700 to measure the pressure imbalance. The additional advantage of the Perfect Balance is the installation in a bathroom door. So I've been in the field with auditors before. I've seen testing. I don't know how many times I've seen a barometer test done on a bathroom fan with the bathroom door wide open. Of course, it's going to give you the maximum CFM of that bathroom fan. However, we all know when that bathroom's in use by the homeowner, that door is closed. So by installing this, you're also creating that airflow, which assists and maximizes the CFM out of the bathroom fan. It also, the additional benefit is you're reducing the mold and mildew in the bathroom, which is creating better air quality within the home. So that's an additional advantage of that. The second thing I have to show you is what we call a wall return air pathway. Again, these are made in the USA. They're BPI listed. And basically, this is going in a wall. So you have 2 expandable sleeves. Most of these are going to go in the 2x4 construction. Very easy to trace on the wall. You're going to cut, and you slide one in. You see the baffle material, again, just like this, to mitigate the noise and the light. And then it also comes with 2 additional vents that will go on the outside. Any questions on those products or comments? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to.
I have a question. What was creating the muting function on this one? A baffle?
Oh, the baffle material inside, in both.
I see. Thanks.
Up to the camera, maybe? Yeah. It attenuates light and sound. It'll give you about a 10 dB reduction in audio, and it'll also reduce any light transmission. If I may just add something on to what Scott just said about this, these come in variable sizes. So depending on how much air you're pumping in and how much you want to relieve, you can buy these in several different sizes. Scott can certainly provide you with the different sizes for this particular product, but they do come in several different sizes.
And you can see it goes from front to back in the unit.
And I want to mention again, too, that we have installation videos of all the products right on our website. Makes it easy for the contractor or the homeowner even to install the products. Thank you. Nelson is up next.
Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing us to be here today. We really appreciate the opportunity. We've got several other types of products here. We try to do things very basic, simple, but really effective. Several years ago, we were dealing with one large builder, and they were getting some background leakage when they were doing the blower door test. And they're trying to figure out where the background leakage was coming from. And we did some studies, and we did some testing. We found that there was a lot of the background leakage coming in from a home with multiple bathrooms. Standard bathroom fan butterfly dampers are designed to leak in to a certain extent. Let me take this thing off. Sorry about that. And with the leakage factor that they allow, they have to allow for some leakage or else they wouldn't open properly. But we designed this particular piece. This is a fabric-based backdraft damper. This is a specially designed fabric that we had made specifically for this. The fabric is tested to ASTM E84, which is equivalent to UL 723, which is a flame and smoke spread test. It's a Class A fabric. What it does, it acts like a windsock. Very little resistance on the outbound. So this goes in the termination of either your bathroom fan duct, your dryer vent, or your range hood. Stops backdrafting. Basically, what happens with simple pressure, and I can demonstrate it here, on the outbound, little to no resistance, but on the inbound, when your house pulls negative, it stops all of the backdrafting potential for this. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration with this particular device. Now, I hope Scott's got this set up so it's visible, but I can't tell if it is.
Well, you got to look at the laptop.
Yeah, my eyes are not that. Okay, John's got it set. So I'm going to pressurize these two cylinders. What we have here, gentlemen, is a 4-inch Cape backdraft damper in the lower section and a conventional butterfly damper here at the top section. I'm going to pressurize these cylinders in this direction. So we're opening the dampers. Now I'm going to rotate this here so you can actually see how these dampers are. Can you get a visual on that? If you can see our damper, it's open to the full 360, so little or no resistance on the outbound. And if you compare it to the butterfly, some of your flows get eaten up by the center point pivot and the spring loading of the damper itself. So you're losing some of this fan's performance by virtue of that loading. But the real key to our product is when we go in the other direction. I'm going to reverse the flow. I'm going to put pressure against both of these dampers. Excuse for the loud nature of this device, but this is the best we had at this particular time.
We're hearing your voice very well, but you need to rotate. All we see is the fans.
Okay. How's that?
Good.
I can't see the screen well. Okay, we're good? Okay, so what we've done right now is we pressurize it against the damper. A couple of key issues here. You can see our fabric go out, but it doesn't invert. We have a special NASA-based adhesive on this fabric to keep it from inverting, so it captures the entire volume of the backdraft within that sock effect. And like I said, this fabric is specially designed is very similar to what you see in a hot air balloon, so it's very, very low porosity. Also, and if you look at this, it's completely closed, but the real key here is if you look at these fans, we use both of these fans like a vane anemometer. If you look at the backdraft potential on this fan, there is no reverse rotation, so there's absolutely no leakage in ours. But if you look at the butterfly damper, because of the leakage around the center point and the pivot and the diameter, you see some backwards flow. So you get that's the reason we designed this, prevent that backwards flow when the house pulls negative. And so if you're doing blower door and you get a little bit of background leakage, especially a house with 3, 4, 5, 6 bathrooms, that leakage can add up to quite a bit. So with that being the case, that'll go into either a bathroom fan. They come in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-inch diameters. Bathroom fan, a dryer vent, or a range hood. Still keep in mind that a dryer vent and a range hood must be maintained. They still have to be cleaned like anything else would. There's no difference between that and any other type of damping system for those particular devices. And the other unique feature of this particular piece, most inspectors won't allow you to put anything into a dryer vent that has any point of collection. So if you look at this fabric, especially designed, if you look at it, there's absolutely no point of collection for any debris that's going through it. The gravity closed louver that you're using on the outside is a much better lint trap than most dryers have, and if you look at them after a few months of operation, they're full of lint, they don't close, but this won't allow anything to collect on it. They'll also shed moisture in a bathroom application. That's the key.
I want to clarify that on your top tube was a spring-loaded backdraft metal damper, right?
Correct. It's actually a Fantech damper, spring-loaded, conventional butterfly.
Yeah.
So that's
Also, just to mention, that is, again, this is a very economical solution. Very economical.
And also, this is a Class A fabric, so it's from a flame and smoke spread standpoint, it fits within the Class A classification. Okay. Now we're going to do our whole house products. Now I don't know what the visual is on this. You've got to help me, guys. My eyes don't cover it well. Okay. We have several versions of this product. This is a simple alternative cooling product. It comes in several versions. This happens to be our HV 1600, which moves approximately 1600 CFM. So when the conditions are right, meaning cooler, drier air outside, and you want to reduce that heat buildup from the solar gain in your house during the day without having to turn your air conditioning on, all you have to do is simply turn this on, which I just did with this remote. A few seconds, you're going to see these doors are electromechanically driven. They're going to open, reach a fixed and lock position. As soon as they hit that fixed and lock position, two fans are going to engage, and it's probably going to drown me out by virtue of the noise, but it's not that loud. These also come in two different RValues. We have, this particular is just a demo model, but we have one that has R38 doors and R50 doors, and the R50 doors are achieved with a vacuum insulated panel, which Ryan will talk about with one of his products when he comes up next. Right now it's on low. I just switched it to high. We have several versions of this particular style of fan, from a basic one of 1,000 CFM all the way up to a high volume piece of 3,400 CFM. And then we also have ductable pieces that are fully balanceable, so you can have a supply in and an outbound flow that you can actually filter the incoming air. So if you're concerned about bringing in pollens or dust, depending on what the environment is outside, depending on the level of filtration that you choose, you can actually filter the supply air. So you're keeping the house not only cool with cool, dry air, but you're keeping it free of some of the pollutants that can come in from outside as well. So if you have allergies and things like that, you don't have to worry so much about it. We also have several types of bathroom fan controls as well that go along with it. So we don't have them here today, but it'll give you the ability to run a bathroom fan from an ASHRAE standpoint on a per minute per hour basis to give you those 0.25, 0.35 air changes per hour from an ASHRAE standpoint. If I've left anything out here, John, please.
I think we're good.
Scott?
No, I just think that the RValue is important. Those doors are mechanically sealed. So what's unique about the Tamarack product is they have an RValue of 38, or you can get the RValue of 50. But once those doors are closed, you've insulated that attic space. So you're not losing any cool air in the summertime or any heat during the wintertime.
Yeah, it may or may not be clear, but what you're looking at here is physically in the attic. So this is sitting up on top of the attic, you know, the floor joist, the ceiling joist of, say, your second floor. And there's a finished grill underneath this on the finished side of the house. So this is all physically away from people, and then you've got a grill that you're actually looking at.
And they fit either 16 or 24 on center, so it's a pretty good either direction. And the other key factor is not only the RValue, it is a very, very tight air seal as well. It's got an elevated ridge molded into the upper housing, open cell foam that impacts it very tightly, and it's got a good dihedral, so the doors are pulled tight, so it's up against the whole plane, so there's no leakage across the whole upper plane. At this point, I think, gentlemen, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, and he's going to give you a little bit of information in regards to what Baddock Door has to offer and some of the other products in their lineup. Thanks so much.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having us. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Baddock Door product line. like John was saying earlier, we were recently acquired by Tamarack in April, but we've been around all the way since 2003, and we specialize in home energy conservation products. So the first product I'm going to tell you about is our attic scuttle door. It is called the Easy Hatch. So I'm sure all of you know, if you have an attic, you have to have an access point. And so the current codes, whether they be local codes, the IRC, the IECC, they require that when you go from a conditioned space to an unconditioned space, that it must be insulated equivalent to the surrounding areas. So that's where the Easy Hatches come into play. Wheel this a little closer so you can get a good look at it. So this is the standard R50 Easy Hatch. We offer it in R50, and then the more passive house, we have the R80. And so those are also available in the standard. You can see a nice flush face. And then over here, we have the core of a deluxe model. And the only difference between the deluxe and the regular is a lock. It's a 4-point lock. You can see 2 points up here, 2 on the bottom. And it has 2 recessed handles. And so, and like I said, this is the R50 model we're looking at here, but the R80 model looks exactly the same. The only difference in that is we add a vacuum insulated panel that's manufactured by Panasonic to the rear of it. And so these are super easy to install. They fit in a 22.5 by 30.5 inch rough opening. Simple as putting it in and then screwing it in, and that's about it. And so this is the core right here. You see this nice gloss satin white face, and then the core is 10 inches thick of expanded polystyrene. And then on the back you can see we have a gasket here. See that? Falling over here. And then there's also 2 more gaskets, so it's a triple gasketed system. There is a gasket right here that'll go against your ceiling, and then another gasket inside where the core meets the trim. And another thing to note, that these deluxe models, those can be mounted in the ceiling, or they could also be mounted in a knee wall. And that's about it on the Easy Hatch. I'd also like to note that we offer a product to insulate pull-down attic staircases. Those are available in R50 insulation as well, and we offer that in 2 different types of insulation, just the regular fiberglass insulation, and then a non-compressible rigid insulation. And any questions on this product before I move on? That's there, okay.
This is John. So I've had 9 energy audits, blower door tests since 2009 at my house, and on almost every one, I've had to fight my attic access with more caulking, more foam barriers, and probably if I had had that, I would have been ahead 10 years ago. Thank you.
Yeah, so these have passed numerous blower door tests, so they're sealed really good.
And they're fully assembled.
Yep, come fully assembled, super easy install. And then we'll move on to the next product, which is the Fireplace Plug. I understand that in passive house designs, you probably won't have a combustion fireplace, but I think it's a great product that we should mention. So just to start, fireplaces are an often overlooked part of the home in terms of air sealing and weatherization. All fireplaces have a damper, but those dampers need to have a weather strip on it to seal the air out. And the Department of Energy says in terms of total home air leakage, that 26% of the air leakage is due to the fireplace. And just to put that into perspective, 25% of the air leakage is due to your ceilings, your walls, and your floors. So that's a pretty substantial amount for just the fireplace. And so these fireplace plugs, they can reduce that 26% down to 1%. And so we have two different models here. This one right here is meant for masonry fireplaces, and this one's meant for zero clearance fireplaces. The install is super simple. You just fill up these balloons through this tube, and then simple as sticking it right underneath the damper, pulling it down a little bit to create a nice V, and then you have a nice air seal. And so when you install one of these, it's about instant results. You can save up to $300 per year on just your energy savings. And then you gotta factor in the other things like odor, noise, insects, pests, you name it, it'll stop it from coming down your chimney. And so that's about it. So you can check out all of our products at baddockdoor.com. Send us an email at info@baddockdoor.com. And then if there's any questions about this whole presentation, now's the time for that.
Didn't quite understand where you're blowing it up. You're blowing on the pipe?
Get a little closer here.
Oh,
That's this
there.
nice tube, yeah. And so this will actually, when you have it installed, it'll dangle down so you can adjust the pressure that's in there. So make sure you have a good seal.
Garage ventilation's gone.
Go ahead. All right, gonna hand it over to Nelson. He wants
I'll
to.
come back at you for a couple minutes, gentlemen, if you don't mind. I don't know if you ever run into garage ventilation issues. People carry pesticides, lawn care products, park their cars in the garage. If you use detached garages, you don't want those products getting back into your house. We didn't bring one here. We should have. We have a line of garage ventilation fans as well. Sidewall mounts, simple install, give you the ability to keep the garage slightly negative in comparison to the house, so you're pulling those products away, either keeping them contained or pulling them away from the living space, so when you enter the house, they're not following you back in. We have several other products, and maybe John wants to go through some of the other ones, but
No,
this is only a small.
We'll get some information, yeah. And we're gonna have the opportunity to send you all links and you know, further information. Don't wanna totally overwhelm you, but if you have any specific questions about the products we have here, we'd be glad to clarify any thoughts.
Question on the garage door, on the garage fans. Are there various wattages?
We have two versions from a wattage standpoint. I don't remember the wattage off the top of my head, but I want to say the highest volume piece is drawing about 250 watts, so it's a couple of amps of current, basically. Don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but the highest volume piece that we have is like 430, 440 CFM. So it'll give you good coverage on an attached two-car, or even if it's detached and you want to just keep the air quality either from being polluted or just mitigate some of the heat gain in the summertime. It'll give you that ability. And
they're activated by a thermostat?
You can do it with several options. Thermostat. We generally recommend wall timer right near your garage door opener. When you go into the house, before you actually enter the house, set the timer on for 20 minutes to a half an hour, because your car's going to off-gas for about an hour and a half after you park it. And if you're concerned about the off-gassing of the car, just turn the fan on for an appropriate amount of time and let it just do its background ventilation and automatically shut itself off after it's completed. And you generally don't have to worry about too much about supply side, because garage doors by their nature are pretty leaky. So with that being the case, the garage is going to leak enough, so you're going to have enough venting capability in the garage to move those products away from the living space. And they're, again, simple to install. They're paintable, so you can color key them to the exterior of your house. You can hide them in such a way you build a doghouse around them. There's several different options for those particular products. You can mount them high, you can mount them low, depending if you're looking to, heavier than air or lighter than air gases. It'll give you that ability. Trying trying to think of something else that we could just briefly touch on that we have. To echo some of the things that Scott was saying in regards to the perfect balance, it's a great, simple, easy way for every bathroom fan. I've talked to many people. They install a bathroom fan, it works fine during the commissioning, they tested it working perfectly well, and 2 weeks later the builder's getting a call back. Why are you getting a call back? Well, the bathroom's wet, it looks like it's starting to get water stains on the walls, things like that. Nobody ever tests a bathroom fan with the bathroom door closed. Nobody. It's always with the door open. And if the bathroom fan doesn't get its supply air, it's not going to move that air out that you want, or the product's out. So it has to have that supply source coming in from the living space. And if anybody uses any of the air cycler products, where you use a bathroom fan to do ASHRAE along with your air handler from a supply standpoint, if you close the bathroom door, you've just cut that supply off. So instead of an undercut, one of these simple perfect balances go in the lower section of the door, and if you don't like it in the lower, put it in the top. We've been questions from people, you know, why would I want to put that in my door? What if somebody looked in it? Well, you've got more problems than that if you've got somebody looking under your door. The ventilation is not the issue, it's the individuals looking in the door. That's the reason we did some of the core material.
And the masonite.
Yeah, we did go through the Masonite laboratory with that particular product. They do 100,000 door slam tests on the product. And if you saw the way they did it with these pneumatic devices, if my kids slammed the door once like that, they'd be looking for another place to live. And they do it for 100,000 times just to test the integrity of the part and see if it came apart. And it didn't. We passed it with flying colors. It is high impact ABS. And I'll give you a little insight from the engineering table. There will be an 1 3/4 solid core solid door available in not too distant a future, and its potentially will come color keyed. So if you have a color palette, there's a potential option there. That's probably not going to be market ready until sometime 2021, probably the second quarter or thereabouts. But we will have that as well. And again, gentlemen, I thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to turn it over to John O'Connell. He's going to give you a little follow-up and a little. I really appreciate the opportunity.
And Scott, Scott basically got us connected here. And one thing I'll mention, again, for those of you that have been around for a while, you'll all remember, because I certainly do, when Panasonic came into the country with the most energy efficient bathroom fan that the world had seen about 30 years ago. And soon after that, maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago, Delta Breeze came in. We are not a Panasonic distributor, but we are a Delta Breeze distributor. And comparing all of the specs and the performance data, the listings, Delta Breeze is as good and in some cases better than Panasonic. So just wanted to make sure that folks in your community, your builders and whatnot, know that Tamarack, in addition to being a product developer and manufacturer, we're also a distributor, and Delta Breeze is one of the things that we bring to the market. So we're a stocking distributor. We have them on the shelf, so we commit the money to the inventory to have, so we can service your project. So if you have the opportunity that you need bids on a project, a multifamily, multi-unit project in a development or something like that, we would love to get that opportunity to help you out with the bathroom fans. And timers also. We have lines on a lot of different kinds of timing devices. So
for bathroom fans, would you still suggest one of these Cape backdraft dampers though?
Absolutely. Yeah, without question, because the bathroom fans, those high-end bathroom fan manufacturers ran into a pickle early on in that they wanted to get that performance characteristic of very low stone and very quiet.
Oh, yeah.
The result of that is that they don't push really hard and they have backdraft damper problems. So as good as they are on the fan motor and performance side of things, they're not very good on the backdraft side of things. So we have a lot of customers over the years that have taken out the backdraft dampers and put in the Cape damper because there's no resistance on the outflow to the Cape damper. It closes right down on the inflow. So it's a brilliant way. And the other thing that I remember suggesting a number of times to builders is that sometimes because you're in a historical area or just for practicalities, you have two fans feeding into a Y pipe and you just have one penetration. You can take two backdraft dampers and put them on the inside of the Y, that if only one bathroom is being used, you don't get that cross pollution. You don't get that air coming back into the other bathroom, which with these high-end fans could happen. So the detail of taking two bathroom fans, two Cape dampers, one Y pipe to one penetration works really well. And it's a good kind of unique use of that system. Because
You've got me thinking now about multifamily buildings with HRVs and using those to separate one unit from another.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right. And the Cape damper works really, really well for those kinds of applications. And some of the HRVs are 6-inch, so keep in mind that 4, 5, 6, and 8-inch are all available. So thank you. This is great. This is our first virtual trade show. So this is like, this is awesome. Great.
Well, thank you very much. It was a fun presentation.
All right, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. And next month, I hope to have FanTech on here. So stay tuned, and
Okay.
I will stop recording. Thank you. Bye.
All right.
John,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
John.
Thanks, Alan.